share with you guys a story. And this is a story about me. I grew up in Mexico, and I'm a missionary kid, and I loved it. But God had created something so perfect and so beautiful in my life. And it was so easy to believe so many lies that the enemy was trying to put in my head. And I went through a series of events, and I probably dated about 2 guys, similar to this girl here. My heart was broken. And the last guy I dated, I was so unsure of who I was and what God had called me to be and who He wanted me to be. And I was kind of at this moment where I was so mad at God. I didn't want anything to do with God. And I would go to church and I would be cool at church and I would sing on the praise and worship team and do everything that a normal Christian would do. And inside, I was living in sin, and there was a bunch of bondage and a bunch of crap inside my heart. And I was just rotting. And so my boyfriend and I decided to run away and just forget about what God had for us and forget about what God had for me and the plans that God had for me. Just forget about it all. And when we were caught up in bondage the most, that is when the Spirit of God just came and spoke to me and was like, Esther, I love you and I want you back. And I was like, God, why would you want this thing back? Why would you want me and all the sin and all the bondage and everything I've done? Why would you want this? When there's so many more people out there, why would you want this? And God was like, I love you and I want you back. So, in selfish motives, I returned home. And we were like, hey, we were planning on getting married, so we were like, hey, if we're going to get married, we want all the blessing God has for us. So let's just go home and let's get our parents to bless us and the pastors to bless us and tell us, oh, your sin's no issue, you're blessed now. And so anyway, we went home. And when I got home, expecting my parents to be all mad at me and just mad and not wanting me back, I ran out of, I got out of the taxi that I was arriving at home in with my boyfriend, and my parents, little did I know, my parents had created this whole thing for me. My house was just covered in balloons, and my mom had prepared my favorite meal, and my parents just told me, Esther, I came in, my parents rushed to where I was, were like, Esther, I love you, I want you. The same thing God had been telling me, Esther, I need you, I want you. And it was captivating my heart that sin and bondage, because of the love of God, I was free. And because of His grace, His amazing grace towards me, I was able to be free from all the sin, all the bondage that I had carried for so long. God's grace was so awesome towards me. And it was my parents' love towards me that made me see God's grace that freed me. So, long story, but now I'm in Colorado Springs, and I'm helping. I did the internship with Connor and Colton last year, or at the beginning of this year, and now I'm helping. And God, because He freed me, and because of His amazing love towards me, He freed me, and now I am helping girls and people all over the world walk into this freedom that God has given me. So, Lord,